Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series playing State of Decay 2 called Heart Attack, named after the latest update 33. If you would like to skip the overview of the new game mechanics, please use YouTube chapters. So before I start, I just want to very quickly summarize update 33 so that everybody here sort of has an understanding of what this update is. So the individual details about each part of the update I'll get into as I run into it in-game, but generally speaking, Plague Hearts are now active things. At the start of the game, they start off dormant, and then if Screamers spot you and scream, or if you kill enough zombies within their radius, you will awaken the Plague Heart. And an awakened Plague Heart will then create hordes to spread towards your base, trying to kill you. So what they will do is they'll create regular infestations that will then send out additional infestations, which will move towards your base, and the infestations directly adjacent to your base will then become siege sites, and as they grow as well, being reinforced by the Plague Heart, it will trigger base sieges, and the base sieges and infestations are now entirely tied to Plague Hearts, whereas previously they were just sort of random things that happened. Now they're actually a direct result of the player pissing off a Plague Heart. Some of the other updates, outposts now can offer defenses, so you can rig up outposts with landmines to help kill off zombies within the radius of the outpost, or rig it up with zombie bait to lure infestations and hordes to the outpost to then, usually in conjunction with landmines, to then blow them up and clear them. It also has additional radio calls to scout infestations. So there's multiple types of infestations. There's regular and siege. Regular infestations no longer cause morale problems, but siege infestations, which directly threaten your community, cause the morale issues. But they're hidden. You don't know about them. You'll have to wander around the map unless you use the radio call to spot them, to discover them. And then also radio calls to help destroy infestations, which destroys the closest infestation to you. So those are the really the big updates. And let's get started. So as you can see in the About command, I am going to be creating a new community on Lethal. I have no idea what map I'm going to be playing, so it's going to be random. And we'll see. So the only boon I'm going to be taking is Builder. I mean, I could take other boons, but only Builder, because I want to have more freed up outposts to do fun update things, and a Builder boon will free up potentially up to 2 outposts, so I don't need to get my own power and water, which is kind of nice. But I wasn't going to take the other boons because it kind of makes the game a little bit too easy. And then as far as survivors go, completely random. So we've got Nomad, Upasana, and Ana. Wow, that's not going to be a little confusing between the two. One's a cook, the other two have blanks. Looks like, in terms of stat-wise, they're also pretty good. They're all at least above 100, or 100 or higher for health and stamina, so there's no, like, problems, which is cool. And yeah, we're going to start with those survivors. What is this? Is this
and
Drucker? What map is this?
Again.
So,
No, it's too green to be Drucker. Cascade?
Not me.
I'll figure it out in
Last
just
time
a
I
second.
almost got ripped apart by a feral.
I have a better idea. We could settle down here instead of moving on.
I admit, it looks better than the last couple of towns we came through. Now that you mention it, it does feel kind of homey.
It's settled. This town is where we'll set up our new base. We just have to find a spot that's defensible, maybe with some room to expand.
So where am I? Cascade! Okay, I was right. Well, that's cool. Because I don't believe I've ever played a Cascade Hills on stream or YouTube, so that'll work. So we're going to be heading down to the new home. And before I go down there, I just want to grab everything I can from around the car. Ooh.
Time to settle down.
And make them carry
Preferably with some good looting nearby.
Having building
Time to
materials in the
settle down.
trunk to start with is really
Preferably
nice
with some good
because
looting nearby.
building materials are probably the most important really early on. Trying to get your base set up. One really important thing to do in this update is implement stealth when you are in or around plague hearts as much as you can. I'll explain a little bit more later, but basically, any zombies or plague zombies that you kill not stealthed around plague hearts will alert the plague heart and awaken it, and many awakened plague hearts ramp up the game's difficulty considerably. So the current meta would be to take them down silently, either by melee stealth or shooting them when they're not alerted through range, like crossbows or something like that.
A whole mess of zombies on the move, guys.
Some other patch notes that that I didn't mention is now with the new siege mechanics, one thing that got significantly nerfed was the Haven device.
Okay.
So the Haven device is no longer like a I win all sieges device. It can only kill a finite number of zombies every 15 minutes, and then it goes on to cooldown. So the answer to how to survive base sieges is no longer, oh, just set up a Haven device, because it won't work. So while I have the two followers, I want to avoid any super zombies as much as I can, and maybe hoover up as much loot as I can, because they're basically free pack meals. Oh, looks like we've got a little horde over there. Also, what are my traits? Oh, can sleep anywhere, beds used -1, and encouraging, extra morale. That's really, really nice. I don't know what hero trait that leads to, but I can find out. Facility action speed. Okay, that's not terrible. Now, what about the other ones? You... hero meal plan. That's amazing. That's really, really good. And leadership traitor. So always packed a lunch and always vigilant. And then Upasana. Pre-pack gear. So light carrying capacity gone up. That's pretty good. And a warlord. And she's also organized. So she can carry a lot of light stuff, especially when she becomes a hero. Those are some really good... random people. Honestly, I lucked out because, as you saw, I just completely gave myself random people. And sometimes you get really, really boned from that. But not this time. So that's nice.
You can use this.
Stickiest, Hashimoto, Sam, Siddhartha, thank you for the subs.
Check this out.
And Mr. FSU for the bits. Cheers. Do you think I'm going to get a crossbow in the first 5 minutes again? Well, there are certain areas that, of course, will have a higher chance of being crossbows, like the military checkpoints and the barns. So I can go looking for them, but I'm not actually going to go out of my way looking for them necessarily. If I find them, you know? Here, buddy. Another thing you might notice, even though I'm not in Plague Heart territory, is I haven't really been doing a lot of fast searching. Especially when you're new and low level, I do suggest that you take it a little slower with this current patch, because this patch, if you go recklessly plowing through everything really early on and you waking up a bunch of hearts, you're going to have a really hard time. And I'm talking like, at least on lethal. I'm talking like you will lose if you piss off enough hearts and they send like siege parties, siege infestations around you. It's just going to be game over really, really fast. I also just I don't really trust the NPCs. They get themselves hurt very quickly. And very early on in the game, it's really important to minimize injury, because you don't really have a way of healing up until you have a higher level infirmary. So Making sure that I don't piss off zombies with 2 survivors in tow is going to be pretty important. Because if I do that, then I'm going to have wounded...
A headshot would let me harvest a poison gland from that bloater.
Wait, there's a bloater around? Then I'm going to have just a bunch of wounded people.
Here and getting started.
Oh, another big thing that you might notice in this update is that there's just a lot more bloaters everywhere. I'm talking like everywhere. Like in buildings and... Oh, how do I even take that out? That's just straight obnoxious. I don't believe that anyone in my community has a ranged weapon, so there's a bloater that I literally can't destroy unless I trip into it. It's funny that I was just mentioning that bloaters are kind of everywhere, and then there's one literally in the starting base. Yep. Well, I might need to... Honestly, I don't even know.
The brainless.
I might need to, like, go scavenge for a firearm. Because I don't really want to trigger it. Oh, what do you... Okay, never mind, she'll do it. Nothing like outsourcing it to an intern.
Coming in.
Damn, that thing's fast.
That thing's fast makes it seem like... Oh, good. Yep, fight my people. We're also talking about a feral. So, how poisoned did you get from that? I guess I'll find out in a second. Was it the red shirt? I think it was the one with the red hoodie. So literally we had a red shirt go tripping into a bloater.
Zed's coming in all sides.
Shut that thing up. I guess we're good.
Okay.
Time to claim this place and move in.
It is cleared.
Down.
Nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop off the rucksacks of food, but not the one of building materials, because the one of building materials will not allow me to then trigger the subsequent find building materials quest, which I'm going to want to do.
Can you go check out a new area, please? See? I can say please.
It's really funny that my name is Citizen Nomad, by the way. I'm Nomad, but I'm a citizen. I am Citizen Nomad. So how messed up did you get? I don't even know. It's probably not great. All right, I'm gonna drop off everything that I don't need on me. And then, there's a feral between me and the building materials that the game wants me to get. Okay, it's gonna be like that. I got it. You thought the zombies... Bloaters have poison glands. Poison glands is just another term for plague samples. That hasn't changed. Okay, so I'm going to leave her here with the roll of canvas building materials, and I'm just repairing everything back up. All right. Well, time for me to go get building mats. Probably want to try to bait the... feral.
Everyone play nice.
Are they following me? No, okay. Yeah, I'm going to want to bait the feral into like a door or something.
Okay, run or fight.
Oh yeah, here it comes. What's the landmark on this map? Concrete silo. For cheapen, cheap building maintenance. Oh, through a gate. Oh, it's just, it'll be like that. Another thing to note is that the ferals... Okay, so he's locked onto her. I'll just fight it this way then. The ferals can knock through doors and gates now, too, which will stagger you. So it works both ways. So it's not as easy as a thing as it was before. So everybody's a little wounded, and I'm very blood plagued. That's fine. Anna is probably the healthiest of the group. So I'm going to switch to her so I don't add blood plague to myself. Where you are here.
I'm getting there. Great.
All right, Nomad, you are going to hold this for me.
Wow, that wasn't so hard. That's cool.
And then we'll go back out for building materials. Now, I'm currently not in a Plague Heart zone. Oh, you know, it just canceled the mission for building materials because they handed it to Nomad. That's annoying. But it's fine. I'll still find some anyway. So I don't need to worry about being loud because I'm not in a Hearts territory. So being loud is not a problem here. But once I venture towards neighbors, that will change, of course. So the screamers that I kill outside of the range, like that one, aren't linked to a heart like if I was, you know, adjacent in plague territory.
Looks like nobody else is home.
Bags of marbles. So here we go. We got more building materials. So in terms of bases on this map, we have the Leeds concrete silos, which eliminates building material maintenance. We've got Container Fort, which is probably the best on this map, but eventually once we get there, I'll have you vote. And that would be one of the two large sites. The other one is the self-storage up here, and then some of these smaller bases sort of in the middle. The Container Fort is a pretty well defensible because it's a bunch of shipping containers stacked on one another with good sight lines on incoming zombies. And because it's tucked in the corner of the map, it's a little bit easier to defend from infestations and sieges. Whereas a map like... Actually, I don't know how Trumbull would play out, but the way the new mechanics work, setting up outposts directly next to your base and then hooking that outpost up with landmines is a really good way to make Awakened Hearts less threatening. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is to build an infirmary, because we already have people injured and sick.
Good to see ya.
Anybody got time to help us with some shit?
I'm on the move. Don't go anywhere.
Huh, the bloater bits are like just permanently there. It also wouldn't be a bad idea to try to get the car running again, because having to walk everywhere kind of sucks eventually. So this car ran out of gas. Let's see if I can't scout a fuel yard or something.
That's another big step forward for us.
Alright, so now that we have infirmary,
I don't think I'm gonna get better without
I can
help.
check them in one at a time, reduce their blood plague value. The infirmary level 1 passively heals blood plague, but it does not heal injury. So we're going to need an infirmary level 2 for that, which will become important.
tired.
I was hoping for fuel. Let's see. Of course, one of the issues with lethal difficulty is just resource scarcity is quite high. Very hard to find things. Most buildings are empty.
Look at all this nothing.
As the character immediately complains that it's a lot of nothing. So that fuel tank over there, that like train car, which is a fuel car, definitely will have vehicle fuel. Well, not definitely, but almost definitely. So I'll head out that way in a second.
We got survivors nearby. Think we should investigate?
How'd it go? Thank you for the sub. And then you can also sort of see the edge of town. So that right there is a plague heart, and I'll show you a little bit of the overlay with the plague hearts in just a second, because they are very different. What am I missing here? One really nice quality of life improvement to this patch is you can look almost straight down now. Once upon a time, that was not the case. So if you were like standing on a sniper tower or something like that, and there was an enemy directly underneath you, you wouldn't be able to shoot at them, which was interesting. So that has been changed, which is cool. I really don't know where the last survey site is. Guess it's not that important. So in terms of the plague heart, if you take a look, this one is dormant. It's probably the closest one to me, but it's dormant, which means it is not creating infestations and hordes in order to attack me. But if I piss it off, it will awaken, and then it will become a problem. And if you're wondering what quote-unquote pissing it off is, it means going into the territory and have a screamer scream. Depending on your difficulty, it changes the amount of it changes the amount that a screamer will have to scream. So on lethal, I think it's just like once or twice, whereas on like easier difficulties, it's many, many times. And then also you can piss it off by just killing zombies within its radius. And the game will warn you when you're pissing it off. It will say that a heart stirs. So the way it works is you're able to kill like roughly about 10 zombies before pissing off the heart within its radius. It depends whether or not the zombie is a plague zombie or not. Plague zombies are worth more than regular zombies. And then it is sort of a running total of how many zombies you've killed within roughly the last hour. So if you don't want to wake up a heart, don't enter its territory and shoot a bunch of zombies. And if you do shoot a bunch of zombies and you get the warning of like the heart stirs, leave at least for an hour so that the heart goes more dormant again. Otherwise you risk awakening it. And thank you for all the gifted subs. Over Drummer, cheers.
Good enough.
So the TLDR is, unless you're willing to deal with the immense consequences, when you're inside of Plague Heart territory, be stealthy. Because if you're not stealthy, things are going to get ramped up real fast. And it does tell you when the heart will never return back to dormant once it's awakened. So if you wake up a heart, it's awake until you destroy it. There's no way to calm it. There is a way to sort of temporarily negate its hostility. If you claim a cell phone tower, you can, for lack of a term, sort of jam the heart. But there's no way to make it re-dormant. So if you run around the map willy-nilly waking up a bunch of hearts, you're going to have a bunch of wakened hearts trying to smush you into nothing. And there's nothing you'll be able to do about it. As far as, like, making it dormant again. You've awakened every heart in your main save, and now the game's like a tower defense 3/4 of the time? Yes. Yeah, the game will absolutely allow you to wake up all the hearts, and then essentially you're, like, committing awkward suicide, because it's, unless you're a really good player, it will be so hard for you to fend off the amount of waves of attacks. So previously on like Lethal, if you were a good enough player, it was, you know, you could just survive. And there wasn't a lot that the game would throw at you to kill you. But now, with siege sites and multiple hearts waking up, it will get to a point where it's just too much. More than most players are going to be able to handle. And it will exhaust your resources, exhaust your survivors, and eventually kill you. So it's fun. On this playthrough, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be playing closer to meta. But perhaps in future ones, I can do a Wake All the Hearts challenge or something like that.
I should probably take a break before I fall over.
All right, let's go ahead and get the car back. So it looks like there is no ferals between me and the car. Oh, another thing to mention is the dotted line you have here is scouting range. So the game will sort of automatically highlight things within the range. And scouting range differs depending on your comms center level of your base and whether or not you have sniper towers in your base. So sniper towers will add additional range. And then also outposts will have range as well. I'll show you more of that once I have outposts, because I don't have any right now, but you can have outposts that have much higher range with like cell phone towers versus other outposts. And then also there is benefits to having certain outposts where they will have like a secured zone as long as you have ammo in your storage. No zombies will be within a certain radius of the outpost. So there are a lot of benefits to outposts. And outposts will also have modifiers like high traffic, meaning that a lot of infestations path through it. So setting up outposts on highways, for instance, where there's just a lot of foot traffic, and hooking those outposts up with like landmines is a really good way to deal with high volumes of roaming hordes. Alright, so this is now operable, but I wouldn't mind looting the trailers over here before I leave, because I'm not likely to come back to this corner of the map. You wonder how the Red Talon base is? You know, I never really touch Red Talon stuff, so I am the wrong person to ask. Oh, that's a screamer. So there's at least 2 screamers in the area? So these screamers aren't linked to a heart. I'm well outside the radius of any hearts. So having them scream would just cause a horde, but it wouldn't cause a heart to awaken. There are also new radio calls, so let me get rid of all this. Like, hey, you haven't looked at this. I'm not going to be using any of the freebies, like Legacy Survivor Ultimate Edition vehicle or any of that stuff.
I was bored, so I went out and found a few things.
But one of the newest ones is the infestation radio calls. So for a little fuel, you can have someone scout all the infestations on the map that are hidden to you. Right now, because I only have dormant hearts, there are no infestations that I don't know about. And then also, if you have ammo, you can destroy an infestation closest to the base. And that one's facing me. I will rush you.
I do not want to let that screamer bring friends.
Oh, another screamer? Oh, here we go. Like the backpack. It wouldn't be a bad idea once I do the Devoted Defenders Cure for All Seasons to try to get a crossbow. Given the new stealth mechanics, a crossbow or a suppressed weapon is definitely going to make my life a lot easier. Wow, another hiking bag. Okay, we're rolling in it. Hey, Double D. Thank you for the resub. So it looks like this group is what, only bloater? One interesting thing that you'll notice is once I have an Awakened Hearts and they're patrolling, some of the bloaters will not be plagued bloaters. How do I know so much about the update that just came out? It was on the public test realm for months, where anyone could play it. And also, pretty much all the patch notes were offered up months and months and months ago, so this is not a surprise to anyone who's been paying attention. Alright, I don't think I'm going to be able to get that camp van without pissing off this bloater, so let me just piss off the bloater. Alright, come on, run at me.
That cloud would kill me dead.
Got a mug heater because of me? I'm glad you like it. I've just settled on having lukewarm coffee all the time. It's good enough for me. Okay, fully cleared campgrounds. Back to the car. So, one huge change you'll probably notice is doing quests for people in Plagueheart territory is going to be a lot sketchier and a lot more difficult and a lot riskier. Because if for instance, I go into Plagueheart territory and they're like, oh, you know, go clear an infestation or something like that. Clearing infestation will absolutely... Well, okay, if there's an infestation, the heart's already woken. But if they're like, oh, help us find a friend, they're in a house and it's surrounded by zombies, it will be very difficult for you to stealth kill the zombies to save the friend without pissing off the heart that the house belongs to, right? So, it adds another level of sort of trouble and complexity for the game when it comes to dealing with Enclave quests and Survivor quests and things like that. Okay. This is not inside Plagueheart territory. As you can see, the line's kind of here. 185 meters up. So I can just mow down the Screamer there if I want. I just, you know, don't want to do too much damage to the car or it's going to blow up on me. Molotovs are still pretty viable for once you've already woken up the heart, but if you're trying to stay quiet and stealth, Molotovs are not a stealth weapon. Choo-choo! Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's... Or honk. I didn't mean to honk either.
I gotta rest.
Honking and trying to get out of cars is like the same key unless you rebind them. If you're wondering. Hey Farrell, did you forget about me?
I'm declaring this location set free.
I don't really like you stalking me.
Why is it always so hard to clear out one damn
Whoa.
spot?
Hey, they're not empty. I'll come back later. Or you're gonna eat me. I think it's time to switch survivors, but let me just loot and bring this stuff home.
Better be careful. Catching the plague would really cramp my style. Step 2, find useful stuff.
Don't you worry, Anna. I'm taking you off of the Help the Neighbors roster. Oh, that's unfriendly. There was just a horde, like, in my driveway. Alright, not getting out there.
Supplies delivered. Go me.
Alright, Upsana, it's gonna be you.
Time to get some beauty rest. Or even just rest.
Doing the who's the worst off switcheroo here, making sure that those that are not doing so well are prioritized for the infirmary. Alright, now let's go help the neighbors. I hope they have stuff to buy that's going to be useful, like Molotovs or repair kits. And I may stop in this outpost location, do a little looting, see if I can't find myself a firearm. Of course, firearms are, unless they're suppressed or you're using them from extreme range, they're going to piss off hearts pretty quick, but it's better to have a pissed off heart than a dead survivor in most cases, so even in a pinch if you need to use them. Oh, speaking of which... Which car is the quietest? You know, I don't even know off the top of my head. The wiki probably has that, definitely has that information.
Ugh, smells like blood.
So now,
Must be a plague heart nearby.
I'm in plague heart
Better watch
territory.
out for
So
plague
what that
zombies.
means is any plague zombies that I kill, or really any zombies or anything that I do in this that results in the death of a zombie, or special or something like that, is going to ramp up the heart's sort of alerting. Meaning it's going to be really important to stay quiet
Sticking
if you
around
want to
here
keep the
too
heart
long would
dormant.
Not be smart.
So the heart is here. It's still dormant for now. But as I do this quest, which will require me to kill plague zombies, I'll need to kill the plague zombies in stealth if I want to keep the heart dormant.
Hey there. The safest way to collect samples is by killing plague zombies.
So they have building materials to buy, but I'm going to
Best
want
place
to ally
find
them
is in the
first, I
territory around a
think.
plague heart.
Just to lower the cost.
Basically infect their whole environment. Nasty as fuck. Or you could just destroy the plague heart itself and get a bunch of samples. That's more dangerous.
Grab your big guns. You don't want to fuck around.
Does
with this
Enclave killing Z's count towards
I'll be
the
knowing
Awakening?
this is a good way to
No,
make
but
friends.
if you have followers, yes.
one. Let's hope this
But
pays
the
off.
followers
We can use
raise
allies
the
out here.
alert levels at a much reduced rate than if you did it yourself. So if you do need to clear a horde within a Plague Heart territory, get a follower or two and have them do it, or do it stealth. What is the icon next to them? What icon? This? You'll... I'm not sure what you mean. So, like, hypothetically, one way to deal with zombies in a Plague Heart territory is, like, I could set up, like, you know, a sound or light you know, fireworks or something like right next to their base and have them clear the zombies.
Oh, this again. Fabulous.
Thank you for tuning in to State of Decay 2 Heart Attack, which originally streamed live on Twitch May 11th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie slayers.